You asked for it, I'm here to give it. So I've gotten a couple of emails from you guys. Why you guys won't comment on the actual post? Supposedly that will help me. I'm not. I'm not beating you up for it. I appreciate you contacting me in any way you can. But it's like people tend to email me. I don't. It's been like that always. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, thank you for the emails. I heard you. Um, some of you wanted additional clarity. This is a public reading, so alternatively, you could purchase your own reading, but um, I'm here to do it. So we wanted more answers on the long-term commitment, and I kept using the word marriage. So I want you to know that it was a long-term commitment, and for some people, it's not even it's not a marriage to a person. That's why I tried to use the words when we saw all the court cards, for example, I try to use the words person and energy. Because for some it's an energy, and for some it's a person, right? The court cards. And similarly, for some you're married to a person, or you're just in some sort of long-term relationship, or, and I think I use these words too. It's an experience, it's a situation. So it could be a job you've been married to for way too long and you need to move on. Um, like I said, the Knight of Cups, for example, came up, and I said some people in the work and finance. I said some people could be starting their own business because they've been married to their old job too long, is what I meant. So it's a public reading. I try to fit as much as I could in for as many different scenarios as possible, but we're going to look more specifically right now, real quick, hopefully, into what additional messages there may be about the love scenario. So somebody, likely the masculine, in a long-term commitment, feels like he's lacking attention, for one thing. That was one thing that came up. Wanted more attention from the feminine. I gave a example of perhaps why she's not giving it to him, because if he is in a long-term commitment, or and or marriage or something like that, she may feel like she's not, invited in, or she's invited in, but so far, so deep, um, where she can access him or not. So that was one thing. Um, and then in terms of, I guess, work and finance, we'll just see what other answers there are, what else they want to tell us with regard to work and finance. So I don't have all the decks that I had yesterday in front of me because I don't want it to be nearly as long. But I have a couple just in case, again, cards want to repeat themselves. So this, I have right here the before and after the tarot. This is before with the Hierophant on the bottom. So this is about some sort of long-term commitment or contract, or spiritual situation. Because remember, we also had the two Queens of Swords at the end for spiritual health and for physical health. So somebody could be going through some sort of spiritual awakening too. And again, there's mentorship or support or partnership, collaboration, into which you should be getting, that's going to help you spiritually. And for some, that's a romantic relationship, or some other kind of twin flame or twin soul or soulmate relationship. So two soulmates, maybe that are not meant to be romantic, for example, but that are meant to go into business together. Okay, now's the time for you to start that business. The King of Wands told us that. The Knight of Cups told us that in the work and finance position. And the Queen of Swords in the spiritual health position told us that. Now is the time for you to not only make a move, but to collaborate with somebody else, of a similar or vibration to your own, or higher, from whom you can learn something or they can help you along this journey. So the Queen of Pentacles is on the bottom of the other deck. I tried to make I purposely tried to make my room as dark as possible, although it's daytime, in hopes that if they light things up, it won't be, unbearable and you'll still be able to see the cards. Because yesterday was really weird, and I ended up in this tiny little box when I uploaded the video. I don't know what that was about. Um, I have the Twin Flame Oracle near me. Maybe we'll use it for clarification, maybe we won't. But we are starting with masculine on the bottom. So again, after shuffling, there is something going on, more likely with the masculine than the feminine, perhaps. Um, and it may involve a spiritual situation or a commitment away from which, he wants to go. He wants to walk away from it. Here is the Eight of Cups. Now, although he wants to walk away from it, the cups, the emotion, means that it's not necessarily easy. And I noticed that he's holding one rod because the Page of Wands was, I think, in the love and relationship placement in the reading that I did yesterday. And I said one of the meanings of the Page of Wands upright is that there is a long term relationship that one is considering leaving, that they're unhappy in. So the cards confirmed everything that I was saying, but I said a lot. And so everybody didn't necessarily pick up on everything or, resonate with everything or realize what was tied together for themselves and what wasn't, as far as love, as far as career, as far as money. So I'm trying to be a little bit more explicit this time and simplistic this time, and hopefully you'll get additional messages. So this masculine or person, doesn't have to be the masculine, but that's the likely situation, wants to leave. It's not easy for him to leave. There's still emotion tied to this person or thing or experience or situation that he wants to leave. Still emotion tied there, maybe still love there, but at the same time, he's not happy and he wants to go. And that is signified by the wand that he's the one wand that he's holding in his hand, because he's resembling to me the Page of Wands right now. And he's still drinking from the cup. So it's like 1 foot in. Um, picture he has 8 feet. 1 foot in, seven out the door. So he wants to leave, but he's still there. And I think I talked about something like that too. I said like it may take time, may take a few months, over the next 6 or 7 months. I think I said. So that could be what those cups are representing as well. Um, I said something like that actually, not in the weekly reading, but um, in the moon reading, because I was talking about the eclipse and how the eclipse may cause whatever is being clipped away. It may take a few months. That energy lasts longer. All right. So also behind this Knight of I'm sorry, this Eight of Cups and wanting to leave a situation is Major Arcana card, the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune says, again, not only is it a good time for whatever this is that you're going to take on, which may involve work and career or love and relationship or both in some cases, whatever you're going to take on, it is time. It's divine time. The universe is working with you right now, that if you make that move, you're going to be fully supported. The odds or the fortune has, it's a reversal of fortune in your favor. This may be particularly true if you are a Taurus. Not only do we have the Queen of Swords here, I'm sorry, the Queen of Pentacles here, but we have the Wheel of Fortune, which that's the Queen of the fixed signs are tied to the Wheel of Fortune, with Taurus being one. So particularly if you are a Taurus, or perhaps another earth sign, or if you are, we got the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles together yet again. They're upright this time though. You are an Aquarius, which is also a fixed sign tied to the Wheel of Fortune, or another air sign. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, as well as the Hierophant that we have on top is also Taurus, by the way. The lovers are behind the Queen of Swords, so there's more Gemini, so emphasis on the Gemini. And I think that happened yesterday too. And the next card upright is the King of Swords. So for some, not only are we talking about love and relationship, but specifically again, a divine union, a twin flame union, a relationship, a soulmate relationship, however you choose to refer to it. And I'm saying that because not only is the lovers here, but both the King and Queen of Swords are here upright. Okay. Um, so that Wheel of Fortune in the other deck was the last card to be upright. And there's something else I was going to say about that. Maybe not. Oh, yes, there was. In addition to the sign of Taurus, see, there goes the lighting. In addition to the sign of Taurus and the sign of Aquarius that I mentioned connected to the Wheel of Fortune also tied to the sign of Leo, which was pretty prominent yesterday too. Um, and the sign of Scorpio, which is another one that was pretty prominent yesterday, or Friday, Saturday, yeah, yesterday when I reported the weekly reading. Okay, so All of that said, on the bottom of the Kipper cards, we have message of concern. So we may be receiving a message. Behind that is poverty. Behind that is journey. Behind that is message. Behind that is expectation. Behind that is imprisonment. So we may be receiving a message, and perhaps specifically from a masculine energy or the masculine, as in the divine masculine, your divine masculine. He may contact you expressing concern about his financial situation, his job, or his romantic relationship where he's feeling lack. Wherever the situation or experience or with whom it has to do, he is at least feeling a sense of lack or worried. He's concerned about lack. It's like the Five of Pentacles. He also may be feeling left out in the cold because, as I mentioned before, he wants more attention from you. How you're going to go about giving it to him if he's in a situation where he's removed from you, I don't know. That's what I was saying yesterday. Some people are not comfortable um, inserting themselves any further than they already are or have been. Um, there's a journey here. So it could be because, again, he's leaving a job or has left a job or is leaving a relationship or has left a relationship or both, or it can be referring to specifically just spiritual journey that he feels himself on. So, message. Now, this is also a message, but his seal and I don't know, the other things in the picture here make this message sound like something less of concern and more of sharing emotion. And that may be what the feminine is expecting and waiting for, holding out hope for. In the meantime, they both could be feeling a sense of being stuck or feeling trapped, feeling imprisoned, maybe even in their thoughts, right? Overthinking, a lot of swords energy, prison of the mind. Okay, so those things said, let's pull some more cards. Um, what else can you tell us about this romantic situation, the love situation? What else? What else do we need to know about the love situation? This is probably more cards than I wanted because I wanted to use both decks. But we have so far is Three of Swords in reverse, a Death, a King of Pentacles in reverse, and these other three fell face down, so maybe I won't take them. I'll tell you what they are, and maybe we'll consider them. The Eight of Wands. So again, they want to send messages, or they want you to send them a message, or both. They're looking for contact. Eight of Wands is also about movement. Eight of Wands, in terms of love specifically, actually not necessarily about movement. It tends to mean that, like one person, at least one person, and maybe this is the feminine with that expectation card, expected that we would have moved, the relationship would have moved further along than it has by now. Okay. Um, and maybe there has been some sort of pause or break, and that's why it hasn't. Because one of the other cards is the Four of Swords in reverse, and lastly, the Two of Cups in reverse, which also showed up yesterday in the reading. So the only cards that I've laid down before me of all those that fell out, because those three that I just showed you had fallen face down, I didn't see what they were. I put them back in the deck in random places, and I put before me the cards that had fallen face up. So again, that was the Three of Swords in reverse, the Death card, and the King of Pentacles. So now I'm going to take from the other deck. We'll try to get three more from this deck. Okay, what other messages do you have for us involving love and relationship? What else do we need to know about this love and relationship situation. Wow. Okay. Bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Cups upright, who was in our surrounding energy in yesterday's reading for or the reading for the week. I'm calling it yesterday's reading because I recorded it yesterday, but I uploaded it for you today. So for y'all, it's today's reading and it's the weekly reading, more specifically. So cards that fell out of that deck: the Lovers upright, the Three of Swords upright. But you see, in this deck, they have not yet, at least, pierced the heart. And maybe there's a way for us to avoid them from piercing the heart. Perhaps by coming out of that break energy and communicating with the Eight of Wands, right? Coming out of the Four of Swords in reverse energy and communicating with the Eight of Wands in it. Forgot what the third card, the one I put away, was already. Um, and then the Eight of Pentacles. So, Three of Swords in reverse. And notice that this heart is all tied up. I started to get a tattoo, something like this, like with a band-aid on it and maybe like a crack. I was thinking about getting that with me and my ex's initials or something like that. I don't know. It had popped into my head to do. It's not something that I've done yet. And we're not together, so it's kind of weird. But I was just like, it's guidance. It's guidance that so far I've ignored. But it popped into my head one day. Anyway, um, the Three of Swords in reverse is about a a hurt, a loss, a separation, a betrayal, or something, right? That we've experienced. In some cases, it's even like something medical, a surgery or something that we went through. So for some people, that could be the case. Maybe that's what caused your separation. That's what caused your relationship to cease from moving forward. Um, because one of you had some medical issues or some other issues like that. Whatever the case, we're moving beyond or have moved beyond the pain of it and are ready to go forward. And so this is why we've also already seen the Four of Swords in reverse, because you start at the three with the pain. The four is an indication of, um, the recovery, restoration, trying to get your energy, stamina, um, back, back in, increased and back, and to a period where you're well. And then when you've completed that, Four of Swords in reverse, which we just saw, fell out the deck. Now, why might have we been feeling that hurt? Because something ended. Something ended or is coming to an end, right? Maybe something that takes a while to end. Yes, my company's going out of business, but we're still working for the next 6 months. Well, this is a love spread. So my relationship is ending, but because we live together, it's going to take some time. Or because we're married, it's going to take some time. We got to get divorced. We got to get legally separated. But because we have children, we got to go to family court. So even though it's over, um, it's taking a while to be completely over, and that may explain the foot still in and the 7 feet out. Okay, death represents the energy of Scorpio. It's also about change, and transformation. So even if something isn't incompletely, as in perhaps 1 foot in and 7 feet out, it will never exist in the same way again. Pardon my phone. Hang on a second, actually. Sorry about that, but I'm glad I paused. It was one was my daughter, and one was friends, colleagues that are um, protesting, that have jumped inside the train tracks. So they're in the subway protesting, and a bunch of them jumped off the platform, down into the tracks, the area where the train actually comes, and there's a bunch of people there that I'm presuming that they're presuming they won't be hit because there's so many of them that the train will stop. Or that the train, the motormen are being notified. So anyway, I was with the King of Pentacles in reverse. So what I got to say about this King of Pentacles in reverse, first of all, he may be, again, an Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Um, if he's not, he is still somebody probably, maybe a little older, maybe, late 30s, 40s, 50s, up, who has lived a little, has, is somewhat established. Maybe he owns his own home, or he's been married, or is married right now, or in a long-term commitment, living with someone, so whatever. Um, Long-term girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, what have you. Or he has children. He could be a divorcee, a widower, something like that. You get the idea. He is a person that believes in providing stability, security, financial support. Okay, maybe not so much emotional support. He doesn't necessarily get very emotional and might be hesitant to let you in terms of vulnerability. Okay, an earth sign. But he's in reverse. So he's in reverse maybe because he's been through this experience. Three of Swords, Four of Swords. Maybe he's not completely back yet. Four of Swords is on the horizon. Four of Swords in reverse is on the horizon, but he's not completely there yet. That could be one thing. And or, because both are possible. Um, and this is the love spread, so not so much about money, but it could be something having to do with money. Like this ending could have cost him financially. If it's a divorce, maybe he had to split his assets, or maybe he has to pay alimony or child support or palimony, whatever. Um, so that could be the case, or he could just be worried about the fact that he might have to do that, or that maybe he doesn't have enough anymore since having to do that. And how am I going to provide? I'm this type of person. I believe in providing. How can I now? Um, Another possibility, so I said and or, this is the case. He's in reverse because the King of Pentacles in reverse in general, especially having to do with love, tends to mean he wants and needs attention. He needs to be boosted up. He needs to be supported. Maybe this is why we saw the strength card so many times yesterday too. Remember I said a lot of Leo energy. He needs to be supported. He needs to be uplifted. He needs to be prayed for, prayed over, loved on, all of these things to feel as you see him. Okay. You see him as this King of Pentacles, this strong person, this supporter, this, you feel protected, you feel safe, you feel secure in his presence. He doesn't necessarily feel that way right now. That's why he needs and or wants attention. Again, how some of us can go about giving it to him, I don't know. That you have to think about that and how it relates to your own situation. Again, this is a public um, community reading. Um, Something else with him could be, particularly if you are single and this is someone new in your life, that there is a disparity, a financial disparity between you, that bothers him, troubles him. So it's probably that he makes less than you or has fewer assets than you, um, or something like that. Another thing could be that he is going through something at his job. And again, possibly that's what ended or changed and it doesn't exist the same way anymore, or with his salary, or both. Um, that you can't necessarily do anything about that immediately, but he again, this is why he needs support. He's struggling because of something having to do with his work. Maybe just the amount of work that he has, and trying to figure out how to make time for himself too, and or your relationship, um, amid all of the stuff that he has to do at his job. That could be it. If he doesn't have a job, that may be the problem too. If he's out of work or underworked, he could be feeling, because he's this kind of person again that likes to provide and everything, and provide security and stability. He might feel sort of useless, like I can't do that, then what am I here for? And again, this is when he needs the support, because he needs to be reminded. He may not be consciously looking for you to do this, but this is what he needs, what it means when the King of Pentacles is in reverse, that he needs to be reminded that his value doesn't come from his work or his salary or his, assets or his material wealth, but it comes from the kind of person he is, the kind of man or woman he is inside, which again, an earth sign may not be so in touch with, because they're not necessarily, emotional that way. So the next card is the Lovers, sitting here after the King of Pentacles in reverse. The Lovers are upright, represents the energy of Gemini. So this could easily be a situation, let me just say this first, involving a Scorpio, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, and actually any water sign, because remember at the bottom of the deck we had the Queen of Cups. So a water sign, maybe particularly a Scorpio, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or a an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, especially Gemini. So especially Scorpio and especially Gemini, among all those signs that I mentioned. Now, this Lovers card could mean not only are there soulmates involved in the situation, which we already established by the King and Queen of Swords, both being present, but the Lovers card on its own can mean that, right? A true love, the real deal. This is the real deal. It can also mean that there's a decision that has to be made. Um, I usually say it's a heart versus head decision, and suggest that people go with their hearts. The decision, I think, here is whether or not to put effort or work into something. Likely this soulmate connection. And the reason that's being questioned is likely because, again, you're tied to something else potentially, and or you've been hurt. We see that. Um, and or you don't know how maybe to visit and maybe reestablish the relationship that you had with this, or that you could have with this other person, this soulmate. If you don't work on it, though, you're headed for more heartbreak, more loss. So, what the cards are saying to me is that you are meant to go with your heart, to follow your heart, and pursue this soulmate and put this work into establishing the relationship. It's probably not going to be easy, but there's a saying, like anything worth having, isn't easy. It's challenging to obtain. What's interesting is that we have sort of like bookends, like when you have the two things and you have the books lined up in the middle of the Three of Swords. So we started with one and it's in reverse, and then we ended with one and it's upright. But again, the heart's not yet pierced here. You can avoid piercing your heart if you follow it. If you follow your heart, you won't pierce it. So I could stop here and do a separate one for money. Or if you're only interested in love, you can leave now. I thank you for watching. I'm going to pull the cards for the money now. So maybe the message of concern, going back to the Kipper cards we looked at the beginning, is, hey babe, I got to tell you, I lost my job. or I'm in a different job, I don't make as much money as I used to in my old job, or I got divorced and I got to pay my ex, you know, like I said, alimony or something, or I got to pay child support. Not used to having to do that. I learned to have a kid, or I have a kid, or whatever the case is, and so now I got to pay that. And that may be why poverty and also in prison showed up, because just feeling really, really stuck, um, and in a place of lack. All right, so now specifically cards on money. Oh, also, when I was putting the cards back into the two decks and like just opening up the decks randomly, I saw another King of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles from the other deck, upright. Ooh, so far so good with these money cards. Huh, interesting. Okay, that's one deck. Now I'm going to the other. Three cards fell out upright. Under that first deck, I'll tell you what they are in a second. There's one from this. Oh my goodness. One of the cards from the last spread just fell out. Okay, so here's three from this. One, two, three, right? Yes. So at the bottom of the deck, which is positive for a money spread, we have the Knight of Pentacles upright. So something may have been coming for some time now, or something may be on its way and it may not be so quick. It may take some time to build, to develop, but you're going to be fine. That's probably likely the case because behind this Knight of Pentacles that is upright is the Ten of Swords, which means we've been in battles. We went through something that was tough. There was a loss, but there's an end to it. The 10 means we reached the top of that, the end of that phase. And so after that is this more money and material wealth coming our way. Now, behind that 10 of swords, which is also positive, is the strength card. So again, there's support coming to us or available to us. We may have to ask for it, but it's likely just like readily available. You may not even have to ask for it. But there could be somebody that you have to ask, or not necessarily ask, but you may have, like I said, for example, like I said, I was saying the masculine wanted the feminine to reach out to him. He may have to reach out. Now, he may have to be the one to contact her and start talking about this, and then he'll receive the support that he's looking for once he's made that initial contact. And just like in the other reading, it may be from a Queen of Swords specifically. And this Queen of Swords, she doesn't want to fight. The same way yesterday in the reading that I uploaded today for the week, the King of Sword had his sword stuck in the ground, embedded in the ground. Her sword is down. She's receiving her crown from an angel above, and she's putting it on her head. She's not in defensive mode. She's not even in offensive mode. She doesn't want to fight. She's here to support. And very positive energy around them both, with the Three of Cups also upright behind her, and the Ace of Wands behind that. Page of Swords, so communication behind that. And the Six of Cups also upright behind that. The next card is in reverse. It's the Hermit. And he showed up yesterday too. And he may be who the King of Pentacles is, maybe specifically a Virgo. The Hermit, in terms of love and relationship, whether upright or in reverse, is tends to be about revisiting a relationship from the past, rekindling a relationship from the past. All right, so I'm putting all these cards on the bottom of the deck back where they were. Um, and I'm going to talk to you about the cards that fell out. So the King of Swords, so he's back from not only from earlier in this reading, but from yesterday. He showed up, and I was talking about the King of Swords. The Chariot, upright too. The Three of Swords, again in reverse, from the same one from the same deck that showed up before. Um, and I used two decks, and I don't know if you could hear me shuffling them and the cards flying out, but that's how it happened, very organically. This card came out again, and I put it when I put it back, I put it upright, and it came out in reverse again. The Eight of Pentacles again, the Eight of Wands again, this time face up, And the first card to fall out face up and upright was the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands is about joy, happiness, a loving household, a home, moving, um, and moving in like in a positive sense, redecorating, entering a commitment, leveling up your romantic commitments, or your even your financial commitments. I mean, you got some, you got more money, you got more credit, whatever. You are happy. This is about joy. This is about happiness. This is about contentment. This is about contracts, and where it has to do with money. Whether first of all, whether it's upright or in reverse, either way, it's not bad. Right. So this is a positive card. Money's coming in. If it you don't see it yet, if it hasn't started coming in yet, it will. I know particularly, for example, for us Gemini, since the lover showed up so many times and the Queen of Swords, um, next week, Venus, the ruler of love and money, leaves our sign. So she had been in our first house for, or she is currently today, right now, in our first house. But next week she leaves. And so she's going into our second house, which is Cancer. Venus is moving into Cancer. And our second house is of, money and earned income and stuff. And so since she rules the second house traditionally, it's a good week for us, or a good month rather. It's about 4 weeks while she'll be there. So 4 of Wands, 4 weeks she'll be there. But other signs depending upon where she ends up, that may be what's bringing this about. Doesn't really matter. The outcome is what matters, and it's happiness. Also, movement, positive movement, growth, expansion, maybe travel involved, um, maybe literal moving, and that may be another reason why the Four of Wands is here, is involved. So maybe you're moving to a new city or state or something for work, or you're traveling for work, or you're just moving forward with positive energy. And it's quick. It's like we're in, it might be where something wasn't happening before, now it's happening, or and it picks up. The next card, again, is the Eight of Pentacles. So, um, this is about work. This is about building. You see, he's stacking like pentacles. He's each time he adds another one to the top. The next card is the Nine of Pentacles, where he's comfortable. Yes, there was pain, there was loss, there was tragedy, perhaps. Either that or he expected it. It's been in his head. He's been worried about it, overthinking, which would make sense for an earth sign, particularly a Virgo, ruled by Mercury, like us Geminis. Could be doing a lot of overthinking and worrying about something that hasn't happened yet. That's the difference between Geminis, though, like and Virgos. Like we tend not to allow ourselves, Geminis, that is, get completely bent out of shape about something that has not happened. Um, you know, but a Virgo is likely to do that, or maybe another Earth sign that that they're worried about their money. That's one of their traits. So that could be what this Three of Swords was about. But again, the crisis is averted. Or if you did experience a crisis and loss, it's the end of it, and we've moved beyond it to the point of healing and recovery and restoration. The Chariot is another card of victory, success, movement, and moving. Um, you know, so this is where things are getting better for you, and maybe even about moving into a new home, or and into a new. This is the money spread, but it could have to do a relationship too. Again, from the spread that we did for the week, if you move with somebody, a Queen of Swords type, or specifically a Queen of Swords, perhaps an Earth sign, then because she is spiritually tied to you, and sent here to better your life, she is helping you. Her energy, her aura, just alone, is helping you to grow your abundance. But the divine feminine does that for the divine masculine anyway, and vice versa. Um, and then the last card here is the King of Swords. So this man, he is a hard worker. He's successful. He's a professional a lot of the time. For me, somebody who has to be particularly diplomatic. So often, like, a lawyer or a judge or a doctor who has to be very decisive and matter of fact. And sometimes he can be stubborn to a fault. But based on the other cards that are here, I don't think that that's going to hurt him. I think this is him. This is the energy of somebody that's going to be working very hard, somebody that's very disciplined, and they're ready to put in the Eight of Pentacles, put in the effort, put in the work that they need to heal their life. Now, at the bottom of the deck, I hadn't shown you this. It's the Five of Wands in reverse. Now, this deck, in this particular deck, the Five of Wands is not an angry card anyway. It's more a card of people helping each other than it is of competition. But it's in reverse, so we can go with the traditional meaning and the image, and see that again, this is a crisis averted or competition that has ended, and now we learned how to work together and how to collaborate. So it's a lot more positive. If we did have to have some sort of argument or lace things out on the table, it's helped our situation rather than hurt it. And so this is for the good. And after that, we have the Lovers upright again. And after that, we have the World. And after that, there's another Chariot, but it's in reverse. So just showing you the other cards that are here on the bottom of the deck. Um, oh, they just revealed to me behind that Chariot in reverse is also the Emperor in reverse. And then the Six of Wands upright, which is more victory and success, and comes on the heels of this Five of Wands that's in reverse, which means we've worked through something in a positive way. So, are you going to be okay in money this week? Yes. Are you going to be okay in love this week? Yes. Is there stuff happening involving a lot of karmic energy that was evident to us based on the major arcana cards? Yes. Will some of it take some time and not happen specifically this week? Yes. um but the positive thing is it looks like on the relationships, um divine masculine, although men typically don't leave, a good bit of them, at least that as it relates to the energies that I picked up, will in fact leave. It will not be easy for them to leave. Um, Again, whether that is career, a relationship, both, some other thing that they're to which they're emotionally tied and they feel responsible for. It's not easy, but they're going to do it because they're prioritizing this collaboration with likely the divine feminine or some other person, um, with whom they have a soulmate connection of some sort, whether it's friendship, business, romantic, whatever, and they're meant to start a new journey with, a new path with. Okay? That they're on the right path and they're going to stay on it and they're going to pursue that. And now I hope that I have answered any remaining questions. And if I haven't, again, you can get your own reading. You know, I tend not to sell myself and to even promote myself anymore. I used to share, not for a sense of promoting, but I used to share like all the emails and stuff not all of them, but some of them on my pages, so you would know, that people were satisfied with my work. I also have on the healing page, I have like a 5-star rating on my healing page, Divine Light Cleanse, but I tend not to push myself and promote myself. But if you want me to be overly specific for your situation, the only way that I can do that is by reading for you precisely. All right. So I thank you for watching again. Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate it. Namaste.